Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Mr. Molstad, for being here today and addressing our questions and concerns. As you mentioned in your opening statement, my district, like many across the nation, have seen more frequent and intense flood events occurring in recent years, and this is likely to continue. These are threats that will cost American homeowners, renters, and businesses billions of dollars in the near future. It's an important topic. Despite that fact, this hearing will mark the first appearance by FEMA before this committee in over 6 years, going back to March of 2017. So I want to commend Chairman Davidson for having this hearing and making an effort to restore the committee's oversight of the NFIP program and see that these important issues are being examined. Mr. Molstad, the Government Accountability Office has observed that the NFIP has two competing goals: keeping flood insurance affordable and keeping the program fiscally solvent. The balance between these two goals would appear to be especially difficult at the moment. While inflation is at a 41-year high and Americans are dealing with an affordability crisis, the implementation of Risk Rating 2.0 has led to increases in premiums for millions of Americans. We have heard reports of premiums in New York nearly doubling, increasing from $1,184 to $2,197 on average. When contemplating those two objectives, how does FEMA attempt to strike a balance between them?
So first of all, thank you for the question, and certainly there are competing interests within the program that we are working hard to make sure we balance. Making premiums reasonable and making premiums be risk-based, actuarially sound can happen, and that's what our program has done. There's some misconception out there that the new pricing methodology increased the amount of premium dollars the program needs, and that's not the case. We would have needed to collect the same amount from all of our policyholders in the old legacy system that we now collect under the new rating methodology. Now we base that premium on actual risk characteristics of the property instead of the zone that property happens to be located in. Second, another piece of the new methodology that's not well recognized is new policyholders come into the program at full risk rates. They no longer come into the program with a discount or a subsidy. And so the doubling of the insurance costs that you mentioned is not for a current policyholder. A current policyholder's premium can only go up the statutorily required 18%. But new property owners have to pay the full risk rate. The third point that I would make is that for the first time, the program is actually able to tell policyholders and property owners what their full risk is. Couldn't do that before. So now folks understand that at some point, their rates are going to go from $1,500 to $3,000, but they're going to go there at 18% glide path. But that number of knowing what it is has got people concerned, rightfully, because now they know what their full risk is and they can take steps to mitigate.
Can you speak to what reforms would help grow awareness of the need for flood insurance and would encourage more Americans to be covered either through the NFIP or through the private market? We've seen over in Europe, certain programs and advertisements to try and encourage, but what are we doing here in the United States to encourage people?
Yeah, there's no question that flood risk is underappreciated across the country, so we can all do a better job of making sure people understand the peril associated with floods and the reason why that financial security of a flood insurance policy is so important. But we don't work on this alone. It's not just FEMA. So we work with the 48 write-your-own insurance companies that administer the program on behalf of us. We rely on them to do their part to make sure people understand flood risk. We work with community members, the 22,400 communities that participate in the program, try to provide them the information, and many of them do their own campaigns. Many state insurance commissioners do their own campaigns trying to raise flood awareness. So there's no question that we need to do a better job of making sure people appreciate the true flood risk the nation faces.
The gentleman's time has expired. Thank you, Mr. Lawler.